Why must I? What must I? Why must I? Why must I chase the rat? The rat? Gotta be the... No. Y'all remember that song? Hi guys, it's SYNOLVE. How are you guys doing? I'm SYNOLVE. I am the author of Love the New Currency, and you can find that on Amazon if you want to grab a book. It helps to support my channel and the work that I do. Also, I'm going to leave the link down below and you can grab a copy on Amazon and that will support me. Also, look, y'all, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, a like, and leave a great comment. Leave a comment so I get to know who you are, and go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Girl, if you really man, sir, family member, if you're really adventurous, go ahead and share the video with someone who would really love this information. Okay, so the rat race. That's what we're talking about today. Whenever, no matter, it doesn't matter who I talk to on this channel, and I've had the opportunity to talk to some amazing people, I always, no matter what, this subject is probably the #1 subject that always comes up. The rat race. It always comes up. I promise you, no matter who I talk to. I've talked to Misty Memphis. I've talked to some amazing women and men. I've talked to Misty Memphis, Mocha Moselle. I just talked to the Maroon Goddess. I've talked to Tasha Pierre. I've talked to Milton, and I've talked to Throp on this channel. If you haven't seen those videos, please go check them out. I've talked to people here in the US. I've talked to amazing men and women who have moved overseas to Africa and so many different countries in Africa, Tanzania, Gambia, Ghana, so many different places, from the Bag family, so many amazing people. And one of the things that they always talk about is the rat race. You guessed it. The subject that they always talk about is the rat race. And so come on in, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the rat race. And why must you always chase the cheese? Okay. The rat? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Come on in, let's talk about it. Okay, the rat race. Look, honey, America. What can I say? Look, I got plenty of notes for y'all today. I got plenty of notes, as always, and I got some notes on the back of my screen, so if you see me looking back behind you like that, girl, I'm looking at my notes. She probably need glasses, but you know, we ain't gonna talk about that. So anyway, having said that, what had happened were the rat race. Yes, if you are in anywhere in the West, then you already know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Escaping the rat race. This black exodus from the American nightmare is happening all around us. Black expats, black women expats, we are leaving in huge numbers, and we are escaping the rat race in this American nightmare, right? That's supposed to have been American dream. Well, and as part of escaping this rat race, people are involved in what professionals are calling and researchers are calling the Great Resignation. You've heard of that, right? Yeah, the Great Resignation. They're escaping the rat race. They're leaving America, leaving the system, and deciding to have freedom and to get out and take not only themselves, but their families. And I applaud them. Black Exodus, yes, I applaud you. If you are courageous enough to leave, plan to leave, or even want to go, I applaud you. I do. I do. And so if you want to share your Black Exodus story, you got an amazing story you want to share, email me at theblackexodus@gmail.com. Email me, because I want to hear your story. I want to hear your story. I do. Well, what is the rat race, you might ask? Okay, so let me go. I'm going to be real professional today. I'll give y'all definitions and everything. All right, so what is the rat race, you might ask? A rat race is an endless, self-defeating, and pointless pursuit. The phrase equates humans to rats attempting to earn a reward for something like cheese, right? In vain. The rats, they run and they run and they try to get it, they try to get this cheese, this kind of dangling carrot that's being held before them. They never really get there. No matter how much they run, no matter what they do, they just never really make it. And then the carrot or the little carrot or the cheese is dangled in front of them, but they never are able to get it. That sound familiar? That sound familiar? Hang on, let me grab this. That sound familiar? Okay. So, no matter how much they chase it, no matter they try to get all the gold and the jewelry and it just all the, the accoutrements of this world, they never really get there. And so it's, pointless in a way, but of course the rat just keeps chasing it. The phrase also equates to an unpleasant life of people who have jobs that require them to work very hard in order to compete with others for money, power, status, etc. The accoutrements, okay? All those things, right? The house, the car, the luxury house, the luxury car, the luxury travel, the luxury life, all those things that we've been marketed to and sold to, that this is a beautiful, amazing life. And so people who, quit their dream, quit the American dream or this American nightmare, they often do so. And you might hear the phrase, you might hear the people, hear someone say, oh, she's quitting the rat race to spend more time with their family. And so we're going to get into it. I got about 5 reasons and a bonus reason. I always give y'all a bonus. Or you can just say 7 reasons. 7 reasons why. And the 7th one, we're going to come back and talk about in another video. But the 7 reasons why people quit the American rat race and they're leaving the West. Okay, so people who quit the American rat race or the rat race of the West, because we're finding that this often happens throughout the West. They are in search of more peace, more personal freedom, time to live, enjoy life, and to spend more time with their family members and the people that they love. And in case you haven't noticed it, there is a movement happening right here and right now. There's a Black Exodus movement or Blaxit movement, right? There's a Black Exodus movement, or some might say a Blaxit movement, where people, Black people, especially Black women, are choosing to live their lives differently and live life on their own terms. They are fleeing the West, right? Fleeing the West. Y'all saw my thumbnail. They're fleeing the West, like running, right? Some of them sneaking out at night, you know what I'm saying? Sneaking out, trying to get out, like, can anybody see me? So they're fleeing the West. And I'm having too much fun with this. And they're fleeing the U.S., especially the U.S., in search of Black joy, right? In search of happiness, in search of freedom, of peace, in other countries. And so here on this channel, you already know, I chronicle and document the Black Exodus movement by sharing the stories of people who have or are leaving the U.S. to craft the lives that they desire. And so, my philosophy is, look, you need to go, say it with me, go where you are celebrated and not where you are just tolerated. Look, I'm telling you, it's time. It's time for us to go where we're celebrated, where we're welcomed, and where we are loved. By the way, you are loved and you are celebrated right here on this channel. So go ahead, baby girl. Go ahead, brother, and hit that notification bell. We're family. Go ahead and subscribe. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and leave me a comment. What do you think about the rat race? What do you think about it? Leave me a comment and share this with someone who that you've either been having this conversation with or needs to hear this conversation, right? Someone who would enjoy this conversation and gain from this conversation. Or someone who, we just family. We just want to talk to each other, Okay. So what are the reasons, right? Get my little blingy blingies down. So what are the reasons, right, that people are leaving the rat race? Why are they leaving? And so here's the thing. In the West, people are finding themselves in this never-ending race, right? They're finding themselves in this struggle, right? Struggle. Number one, they are working long work hours, and there are huge work commitments, okay? And you know, we often call it other duties as assigned. So often there are long work hours. People are working 8, 10, 12, sometimes even 14, 16, 18 hours a day. I mean, I don't know how they do it. Some people have more than one job. I don't know how they do that. And so it's stressful. It's overwhelming. They're working these long hours. And for what? We're going to get to that. So for what? They're working these long hours, and companies will often pile on. So the good worker, they'll often pile on more work. The person who's a bright and shining star, they'll pile on more work. And we, as African American men and women, we're often the last in the door and the first out the door, right? The last to be hired and the first to be fired. So we feel like we got to do that extra work. We got to put in that black excellence. We got to do what we got to do. But you still don't get any of the rewards. You chase and you chase and you chase. You get the degrees, you get all that, right? You got these long work commitments and other duties as assigned. It's just piled on. And you got to deal with these negative Nancy's and what's the word? Broomhilda Bobs. You know, you got to deal with all these negative Nancy's and Broomhilda Bobs, and you just don't ever find any peace or any rest or any joy. You're the first one they call if something messes up. If they're not blaming you, they want you to clean it up or fix it. But then you got to fix it up for the boss, and then the boss struts in the next day as if he's done everything. Yes, I fixed that to the VP or the CEO. I did that. And it was you, right? It was you. You were the one fixing it, pulling everything together, getting the team to work. You were the one rallying the team together and getting everybody to do what they need to do in order to clean up the mess, fix it. When you had already told Nancy and Bob, or Nancy or Bob, that wasn't going to work in the way they were trying to do it, wasn't going to work in the first place, but they ain't going to listen to you. You see what I'm saying? All that goes on. 2, lack of quality of time to spend with family, spouse, children, loved ones. And guys, if you see me looking down, my notes are down here. So this lack of time, right, to spend with your family, your spouse, your children, your loved ones. You're expected to work. You're expected to be excellent. You're expected when they call you. I remember when they used to have beepers and they call you at home, call you all times of night, call you on your cell phone. I know women, when I worked as a medical writer, I know women that was scheduled to go get their breast exams or go get their, their OBGYN appointments, whatever the case may be. And people would call them while they were out. I mean, do you know where this file is? Can you send me this, or can you help me find this? They would call if they were sick at home. I remember getting calls when you're sick at home, right? You're sick at home and you get these calls and it's like, well, can you do this? Can you? No, ma'am. Well, what you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? You don't have time, to spend with your family. You don't even have time to even get your own checkups that you need that are necessary for yourself. You don't have time. You work those 8, 10, 14, 12 hours a day. And then what happens? You see your kids 2 hours a day, maybe 3, because you see them in the morning when they're getting ready. Okay. I guess, and if you're going to count that as an hour while they're rushing to brush teeth and you're trying to get them to put clothes on and you're trying to get them to eat something for breakfast before they head out the door, so you see them and then you drop them off. Maybe you get to ride in the car with them when you're dropping off in the car line, but they're half asleep, they're tired, they're whatever. And you're trying to, did you get your homework? Did you get this? Did you get your project? Is there anything, did you get everything? And then you got to get out of the car line because they forgot everything. Then in the evening, they get home and say, oh, well, we got a project that's due and you got to go get poster board. And then you ask them, on the way to the store, well, how long did you know about that? Oh, I had 2 weeks to get this. Okay. So there's no time with them. Maybe you sit down to dinner, or everybody's eating their rooms, whatever the case may be. You're doing homework, you're trying to watch TV and talk and chat for each other. Hey, how was your day? You know, you and your spouse are two ships passing in the night, all this stuff, right? I want to talk about why divorce rates are high, because you just don't get to spend the time together. And then on the weekends, you know, I've talked about this on my channel in the video why black women, especially black women, why expats, why black people, especially black women, are saying goodbye and leaving the U.S. So check that video out if you haven't already. Lack of time, right? Lack of time, right? Lack of time to spend quality time with your spouse. Number 3, no personal freedom. So yeah, number 2, lack of time to spend with your spouse, your family, your loved ones. You just don't get time. Then on the weekends, what do you get? 2 days a week. You got to go grocery shopping one of those days. Then maybe you go to church, or you worship, or maybe you sleep in on Sundays. You just don't have any time. So you're trying to cook pancakes, do something great on Sunday, and maybe go to the park, make sure you did something with the kids, or the kids have sports practice. It's a lot. Trying to do something for yourself, even if you're single, just trying to do something for yourself on those 2 days, right? Number 3, personal freedom. It's just no personal freedom, no time to do the things that you really, really love. No time, real time. Maybe you get a week off or 2 weeks off. It's accumulated time. I worked for a job. It was accumulated time. You'd have to work the whole year, maybe even 2 years before you could get a whole full week of vacation. Accumulated time, personal freedom, no personal freedom, right? So accumulated time when it came to your sick leave, just no time to really trust, no time to really travel, no time to really rest, no time to even really sleep, because sometimes you bring work home with you. You got all this work that needs to be done. You're thinking how rude your boss was to you, the negative Nancy's and the Broomhilda Bobs, and so you got all this stuff going on, right? And you just don't have any personal freedom because you don't have any control over your time or your life, right? You don't have any control over the 8 to 12 to 14-hour work days. I know a lot of people who work, for example, in warehouses and factories and even in offices, and they don't have any time. They don't know when their shift is going to end, leave. Yeah, they're hired for an 8-hour shift, but if you get there and you got to work overtime. I remember my husband would be so tired, you know, work for 2 to 10 shift and then have to end up, he'd be like calling me, hey babe, you know, I got to stay over, and you end up having to work to 12 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock. Something goes wrong. Sometimes it's the next morning, or they call you the next morning, even though they know you got off at 12 o'clock or whatever, 2 o'clock, and call you at 6 o'clock and tell you to come in. Like, y'all know, I mean, if you work in a lot of these, you know, manufacturing companies, you know what that's like, or even in an office where you just don't have a straight schedule, where people don't eat lunch at work because people are coming by your desk trying to talk to you. Can you get this file for me? Oh, I see you. And then when the 15 minutes or 30 minutes is over, it's just over. So you don't have any personal time. You can't schedule a doctor appointment when you need it, when you want it, because you don't have any personal freedom. You don't have any personal freedom to go, to schedule, to take off. If you only had 3 days sick leave, you don't get to take off a week or 2 weeks to take care of a child because they are, you know, are sick from whatever, from the pandemic or whatever the case may be. You just don't have the personal freedom to make choices for yourself. And that's sad. That's one reason. This is why people are choosing. You know, number 4, right? You back on number 3 before we go. You got to ask for sick time. You got to ask to take vacation, your own vacation that you've earned and you've saved for, and then they can deny it. Listen to Stephanie Pierre tell the story. She got denied vacation when she worked. She got denied, and so she couldn't go on vacation. I think she quit, but that's a whole nother story. And kudos to her for doing that. You know, you just don't have the personal freedom, the personal control over your own life. 4, right? The inability to get the cheese, right? They're dangling, right, the carrot. They're dangling all this things in front of you, right? All of the the accoutrements of life, right? They're dangling all the jewelry and the, dangling all of the things. Like if you get a raise, you can buy all the jewelry you want. You can buy the shoes. You get the corner office. You get to wear the power suits. You get the shiny new car. If you're, you get to a man, you finally get to really bring your wife home, or you get to whatever your dream is, right? You get to really have the life that you want, and to send your kids to, whatever schools you want to, because school is really expensive in the U.S. Yes, it takes. If you haven't listened to the video with me and Tasha Pierre, please do. We talk about how schools in the rest of the world are not nearly as expensive as they are, especially in the U.S. So this inability to get the cheese, to actually get the wealth, get the money, to actually get those things that you really desire. You're thinking, I work hard, I work hard, I work hard, I work hard, and so I'm going to be able, if I work hard, if I pull myself up with my bootstraps, if I pull myself up by the bootstraps, if I work hard, then I'm gonna be able, in 5 years, I'll rise to supervisor, I'll rise to manager, I'll rise to team lead, I'll rise to product leader or product manager, I'll rise in corporate communications to be the director, I'll rise when that person's retired. And then they come in and bring a whole new person that you don't even know, that's fresh off the boat, doesn't have the experience that you have, and then they sit them right beside you and ask you, train them, teach them. Yeah, that's what happens. I always say that when we listen to the Bible story, I think it's a great book. You can learn a lot from it. But when we look at the Bible story of Adam and Eve, they were given a garden. They were given a garden, not a factory and not a warehouse. The world is run today like it's a business, like it's a factory, like it's a warehouse, a man-made factory, a man-made warehouse. We don't run this world. We're not operating, especially in the West now, like this is a garden for us to maintain and for us to care for it as if we're caretakers. That's not how we do this. We come in, destroy everything, tear everything down. And we make it a race for those, a rat race for those who have less than we do, who we hire to work for us. They become just little, when you look at the, in these warehouses, huge warehouses, it's just like, and you are up from your top floor CEO penthouse suite on the top floor of the corporation, and you look out and it's like they're just little rats running around. And that's how we treat people, and it's sad. It's very sad. So we put people in this race knowing that we were going to hire, when the job comes open, that we were going to just literally hire our nephew or niece anyway. So, but we dangle it in front. Yeah. We're going to have some promotions. We're going to have some opportunities. And then those opportunities come and they never come to us. The rat race, right? It just never comes. You just on this treadmill. You're on this cycle. You're not losing a pound. No, you're on this treadmill. You're on this cycle. And you never get ahead. You never get ahead. You never get ahead. Number 5, right? Number 5. You have this inability to build true and lasting wealth. There's an inability to build wealth, prosperity, to gain financial freedom and independence, right? You're chasing to get the cheese, but you never get it, right? You never get it. You never get the cheese. Pun intended. You never get the cheese. You never get the money, the money, the wealth. They may raise you a couple of cents an hour, 50 cents, 30 cents an hour, something like that every year. Or they may just withhold raises from you altogether, right when they do your annual review. They may just completely decide they don't want to give you a raise. They don't, no matter how hard you work, no matter what you do, they don't like you. And so they want you to leave the company. They don't really want you there. They treat the bottom a certain way, and you just need to take it, come in, do your job, do whatever. You're maybe even in an office position, and you're talked over during the meetings. You're not valued. Your opinion's not valued, and then you just don't get the wealth. You just don't get the moolah. You just don't get the trips, the fancy trips to go away. You don't get to go to the fancy training. You don't get the weekends, golfing with the boss. You don't get any of that. You just get to work. So you don't get any of the additional, right, added benefits, right, or bonuses. And then you don't get to build wealth, which is really why we're here. You really don't get the wealth. You don't get the prosperity. You don't get to build the actual financial freedom and independence. And someone might say, well, that's not really what a job is for. Well, everybody, look, no, and you're right. Which means a lot. It's not necessarily what the job is for, but there is some measure of wealth and success, and you're not even able to gain that. So you're in this perpetual rat race where you just don't finish. You don't reach the finish line. You're giving all your black excellence, all your black glow, all your all of it to companies, and then you're old and it's gone, and you're like, well, I'm still in the same position, almost making the same amount of money, and everybody around me has risen and they're able to move to the suburbs. They've been able to do, and I'm still living in the same house, same place I'm living in, barely trying to pay it off, barely trying to do what I'm trying to do. Or maybe they raised you a little bit. They allowed you to raise a little bit, but they didn't give you the corner office. They didn't give you the multi-million-dollar salary. It's that keeping you in this psychological, mental space and cage, right? It's like being on a hamster wheel, keeping you in this psychological cage where they dangle the carrot in front of you, right? Of wealth, of riches, of going wherever you want to go, of having the corner office, of having the company car, of having the money and the wealth and the success, and having the teams under you, and having being able to manage a whole department now. All those things, they dangle those carrots and success in front of you, but you never really reach it. You never really reach it, no matter how hard you try, no matter the education, nothing. And some of us do reach those things and those heights, but it's not necessarily something that we all will be able to do, unfortunately, because it's like this carrot dangled in front of us. And so, number 6, right? Number 6 is this perpetual, before I get to that one. So, let me do number 6, because I think I got my numbers off. And I talked a little bit about this, but I think it needs to be separate. And that's, while we're chasing this dream, it's also having to really deal with the psychological problems. And I just talk about the psychological thing, right? That should have been number 6. Like being trapped in this psychological rat race box like a hamster is a problem unto itself. That's part of the rat race. So they play these psychological games with you. That's number 6, playing the psychological games with you, saying, oh, we're going to have raises. We just talked about that. We're going to have, but it should have been 6 unto itself. Okay, so my apologies for that. But we're going to have raises, and, we're going to have some jobs. We're going to have some more supervisory positions, and we're going to be hiring for new positions, or we're going to be transferring people to our overseas offices or offices in another state, which will give you chances and opportunities to manage and to do these things. Like these carrots I know people who have worked for years with the carrots dangled in front of them. Or maybe you're working part-time. Oh, we're going to be opening some full-time positions. All of that. And then when the positions open or the opportunities go overseas, well, we really need you here, Shaniqua. We really need you to stay because you're such a hard worker. Well, Bob has said that he really doesn't want to lose you as a part of his team. So we decided to go with someone else. And so psychologically, they've just had you work hard So you can make Bob look good. So you can look Susan, make Susan look good. You can make them look good. But in reality, they were never in behind the scenes. They were never going to promote you. Not once. They were never going to promote you. And it's sad. It's very sad because I've been in that position myself. I've been there. I've been in that position myself. And so it's very sad. Very sad. So these psychological games that they play, that's number 6. These psychological games that they play, I'm making sure that I'm adding my notes. Y'all know I'm a stickler for notes. So now I got my notes right. So now I got my numbers. I got my numbers together, y'all. Okay. So these psychological games that they play, right? Number 6, that we could do without, that are just unnecessary. Just don't lie. Just don't lie. And then I could have, that time I wasted being at your company, I could have gone somewhere else and been at another job. That all those years that I wasted thinking I was going to be promoted, I was going to get a corner office, I was going to be able to manage a team. Even they may even come to you and say, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity in the next 2 years if you work hard, or in this next year if you really work hard and do your work due diligence, we're going to give you the position of being able to run the San Francisco office, or we're going to allow you to become partner. And then that never ever happens. I know I was in a position at a medical company, and there was a new position that was going to come up. It would have been higher than my position. So I worked hard, did all this stuff, and then they kind of dangled in front of me, right? That little carrot, that little piece of cheese. I wish I had a piece of cheese, but y'all, this is our figurative piece of cheese. I love Jerry, y'all know. So they dangled it, kept dangling in front of me. Well, one of the things, requirements for that position that they were saying was to have a master's degree. So you had to have a master's degree in a scientific field. So I already had my English degree with a concentration in professional technical writing. So I decided I'm going to go and get the master's in scientific writing. Signed up for the class, everything. Boss wouldn't pay for my education. Wouldn't pay for my classes. I had to go to corporate to get them to even pay for my classes. They did not. She didn't. She just refused. Like, I'm not going to sign this. Or at first I left it on her desk. She wouldn't sign. And it was coming up to the time where, because they do a reimbursement, right? They'll fully reimburse your educational cost at that particular company if it's within your particular field. It has to be specifically related to your field. And I was a medical writer, so it was so technical. So the scientific writing masters would have been, right there in my field. Couldn't deny it. First, she wouldn't sign it. 30 days went by. I would check every week. So then I was like, schedule a time to sit with her, because you have to schedule time with your boss. And she sits there and she's, well, I'm just not going to sign it. I don't think this is something that you need to do. You dangled the carrot, right? You dangled the cheese of me getting this promotion, right? Moving up. You know how they do the levels. Moving up from level 1 to level 2, which is way more money, significantly, probably like a $20,000 raise. And you won't even sign the paperwork. So that went on. So by the time the job came around and they were hiring, they actually hired someone with a bachelor's degree. All that. And they hired somebody with a bachelor's degree for the level 2. I just laughed. I had to go to the interviews, and I had to go to the interviews to interview the prospective people. And that's all. Number 7. We're gonna move on. Number 7. This is the last one. Your bonus. this perpetual system in the West of capitalism and marketing. It's a buy system. So even if you have wealth and you have money, you're so consumed. You got to buy work clothes, you got to work shoes, you got to look a certain way when you go into the office, you got to be presentable, you got to get your hair fixed, you got to get you got to go get your hair fixed, honey. You got to get your hair done. You got to get everything. It's got to be presentable for the office environment in which you work. When I worked in the office environment, of course, I had to have the perm, and it had to be laid. It had to be, you know, I had to have the attire, office attire, which was expensive. You had to, I would go to, what's the store? New York and Company, which I loved. And so I figured out how to, you know, I'm a shopper and a thrifter. So I figured out how to get all the different business attire that I needed at a really great cost. I would shop the sales, shop the clearance racks. Yeah, I would do the Goodwills. I would do all the thrifting because I love thrifting. I have a thrifting book group called Thrift Queens on Facebook. I have a thrifting group called Thrift Queens on Facebook. You can come if you want to, but we really don't thrift anymore because she don't know, save enough coins to go to leave to Black Exodus, okay? To Black Exodus, okay? To Black Exodus out of here. But anyway, so there is this. So even if you are able to get the money, whatever money, you have to still live in this system, right? This capitalistic system. You still got to get a decent car to go back and forth to work, okay? You still got to have the cell phone that everybody else has. You get caught up in this, right? The buy. You got to have the clothes. You got to have the this. You get caught up in the system. Girl, where you get them shoes? Ooh, they cute. Where you get that purse? So everybody's wearing a Coach purse. You got to get one. Everybody's doing Louis Vuitton. Now you got to go get one, right? You're in this. And you see that you're in this rat race to kind of get those things that everybody has. Folks getting weave, you getting weave. You know, the whole thing. They get the perm and they get their hair all cut and it's laid to the side. Did you have the Halle Berry cut? Because I had it back in the day. So they're doing all the things, right? They're doing all the things, right? Trying to achieve success. They're we're working. So this whole system, this capitalistic system, the marketing, all this, it keeps us in this rat race. It fuels this rat race because now we're like little rats, little mice trying to keep up with everything and trying to do all the things that we need to do in order to buy all the things we need to buy and have all the things we need to have. Send our kids to the private school, send our kids to this college, to buy this car, to have this purse, to have this these clothes, to fit in with everybody, to get the house in the suburbs, to go here, to go there. It's a race, right? And it's all because of this marketing system. Then you don't even know that you're in it. You don't even realize that you're just in this marketing system. This capitalistic system is all based on money, right? All based on what you got to buy and what you got to do, right? You got to look like your coworkers. You got to fit in with them. You got to go to lunch with your coworkers. You got to eat certain foods. You got to they're getting smoothies. Now you got to get smoothies. Like it's all they're getting cappuccinos. Now you're getting cappuccinos. I was never the problem because I don't like coffee. I like tea though. I'm just saying. You do all of this, feed into this capitalistic marketing system without ever achieving true pleasure and without ever achieving true pleasure, without ever having any true joy, or without ever achieving any real success. Yeah, this is the system that we're in. And this is a system that a lot of people are choosing to leave. And these are some of the reasons why. You might have more reasons. I'd like to hear what they are. I really would like to hear what they are. So leave your comments below. Please share them with me so that I can be blessed by them. And we're building this community. Everyone can be blessed by them as well. Okay? All right. Well, I'm SYNOLVE. Again, thank you so much for joining me and for being on this journey with me. I appreciate you so very much, so much more than you know. Please go out and check out all the videos that I have been doing. I've been doing some amazing videos, if I say so myself. And so please go check out all the videos. I'm going to leave playlists below so that you can check out all those videos and of all the amazing people that I have been interviewing here recently. And be sure to look out for the new video. So like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're always notified when I have a new video that comes out. Be sure to grab Love the New Currency, which I'll link below, which is the book that I have written. I'm working on the book, a new book now. If you want to support that, become a member of my Patreon, and become a member of this channel, as well as I'm rolling out new sponsorships as well, where you and support opportunities. So because a lot of you have said that you really enjoy this content, you really love it, and you really love what I'm doing, you really like to support it, and so I'm gonna make sure you have those opportunities in order to do that. All right, I love you guys so much. You, baby, you are amazing, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you are handsome, you are kind, you are loving, you are amazing. You don't have to be a part of the rat race because you're wise and you're intelligent and you're smart, and you are loved and you are blessed and you are welcome here. You're always welcome here. You're part of the family. You are welcome here always, because this is our home. This is where we chat. This is where we get to sit back and we get to talk about everything that's going on and find real solutions for what we need to do next. I love you guys so much. You're always welcome here. I'm SYNOLVE, and I'm gonna see you in another video real soon. All right, guys. Big hugs. Love you guys so much. This is SYNOLVE signing off. See you in another video. Bye, guys. Hi guys, it's SYNOLVE. How are you guys doing? I'm SYNOLVE. I am the author of Love the New Currency, and you can find that on Amazon if you want to grab a book. It helps to support my channel and the work that I do. Also, I'm going to leave the link down below, and you can grab a copy on Amazon, and that will support me. Also, look, y'all, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, a like, and leave a great comment. Leave a comment so I get to know who you are, and go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Girl, if you really man, sir, family member, if you're really adventurous, go ahead and share the video with someone who would really love this information. Okay, so big hugs. Love you guys so much. This is SYNOLVE signing off. See you in another video real soon. Bye, guys.